Hello guys, in today's interaction we are going to meet Arpit Sahu. He has got selected into several IIMs and two of them are prominent. One is IIM Mumbai and second one is IIM Lucknow. Congratulations Arpit.
Thank you, sir.
So how are you feeling after getting through IIM Lucknow?
Lucknow was the target across my preparation was Lucknow. I heard Lucknow from so many faculties that Arpit, you need to crack Lucknow. You need to crack Lucknow.
Great.
So Mumbai was my first convert and I was delighted on it. But I cannot explain the feeling that Lucknow gave me. It was like I was just dancing for the whole day.
Great. So in this video interaction, in this interaction, we will discuss his experiences. Of interview experiences of IIM Lucknow. So let's start. So Arpit, let's begin with first of all a brief profile of yours.
So, sir, I am from the technical side, software development specifically, and from the last 3 years, I've been working with Apple through the DP team, where my work revolves around making the release process faster through development. And along with that, from last 1 year, I'm handling my own team. I'm mainly working as the product manager, who's responsible for linking out and bringing up the features across.
So you prepared everything from CH EdgeMakers.
Yeah.
So how did you manage your preparations with your workers?
That was a challenge actually. To be honest, last 1 year has been rough on me. So my work times generally are 10 to 6, but due to the recent profile change which I had, they were extending from 8 to 10, 12, something random. And main thing I could focus on was cutting down on my sleep and getting as much as time possible for study. So I was actually doing 18 hours a day, 19 hours a day for at least couple of months, at least 3-4 months.
Yeah, so I think that's why you were dancing.
Yeah, because it was like I was so committed to it for a period that अगर अब नहीं हुआ तो मैं छोड़ दूंगा.
Great. So tell me about the process from the starting. So when you entered there at you had an interview at Lucknow or Mumbai?
It was in Mumbai. I selected Mumbai as my location.
Okay, Mumbai was your location.
Yeah. It was HMATC, which is a catering college, and my slot was 12 o'clock. So we were firstly given up, we were divided into groups. We were given into a room, and from there we were divided into groups. Every group was supposed to go to the room and have their VAT in front of the faculties.
Okay. And so you had writing ability test.
Yeah, we had a
first. And your topic was related to?
It was related to crypto.
Cryptocurrency.
Is it good or bad for the nation, in general, nation industry as a whole?
Okay.
So my major things revolved around how crypto can be good, how it might be used as a bad thing, how there are multiple uses of crypto, Ethereum and all.
So they gave you 15 minutes?
Yeah, it was very short and just 15 minutes to cover up 2 pages.
Okay. And after that, you went for the interview?
No, then we were sent back to our rooms. My number was around at the last almost 9 or 10, but interviews were pretty fast in my panel specifically. So they started, each interview was hardly 10 to 15 minutes. They started around 1:30 and mine was done by 3:34.
So normally they were having short interviews?
Short interviews, yeah.
How was your interview, short or long?
For me, I would say it was pretty long compared to my earlier colleagues.
Okay.
For them, it was generally revolving around technicals, a little bit about themselves and a little bit on the behavioral aspect. For me, it was longer, around 30 minutes, which is completely centered around the behavioral aspect.
Okay. And how did it start? Did it start with the basic question, tell me about you?
Yeah, as always, as soon as I entered, the first question was, tell me about yourself, just to make me comfortable. Where I talked about myself, my work, my college, about what I have been working on in the past couple of years, my experiences and all.
And there were 2 panel members?
Yeah, there were 2 panel members, both male. One of them was a graduate from DU, a PhD in economics. Another one was a professor of economics at IIM Lucknow.
Okay. So after this, how did the interview go on?
So once I was done with my introduction, one of the major factors which Sandeep sir told us about was to know about your surroundings.
Okay.
And that is where first point came up was Indore. Arpit, you're from Indore, and Indore being the cleanest city is one of the biggest case studies you can ever find across the nation. How a city all of a sudden transformed itself in such a big fashion that people now actually take care of the fact that ye bottle yahan nahi dalni hai. So that is where my complete starting part of the interview centered around, where we had discussion about how Indore is the cleanest, what are the changes government has done, and specifically why these changes are not being implemented somewhere else.
Okay.
Suppose it was implemented some collector who was responsible for it. Why is that collector now, even though he might be transferred somewhere, is not able to implement the same over there?
Okay.
Then it came around to how Indore what the population of Indore is. So it turned into a guesstimate.
How big the Indore is.
Big Indore is, how is it expanded, and what makes it different compared to.
So probably
other
a
cities.
Complete case study discussion went
around that. How could you implement this further? What changes? What NGOs might be involved? Do you think NGOs will be involved? Firstly, the major factor. How do you think what is the major change? Like, suppose you want to bring, one of the question was, there has been a recent change in the police commissioner in Indore. They were aware of it, and his major changes have been around making policy stricter on the traffic side as well as the police side. So do you think like putting force on such action, like making these issues finable is a solution, or making a force? And how do you release a force when you want to apply a certain change to a city? What would be a good way to release force? And can this be linked with the way Indore was made the cleanest city? So yeah, it was a complete discussion, case study, analysis of Indore.
Superb. And then after that?
After that, things took a turn. Again, we went to another case.
Okay.
Though it did not go directly to a case, we had a discussion about how I reached Mumbai.
Okay.
Which came up to flights and how flights were being delayed. This was around February, where flights were being delayed across India, specifically Delhi region. So we had a discussion about a number of.
So why did they ask about Delhi?
I have studied in Delhi.
Okay.
So that was one of the reasons. I think they took it to Delhi because it was visible in my CV.
Okay.
But yeah, earlier it started with Mumbai. Mumbai was not facing issues with fog, but it was having a lot of delay in the landings. Because one of the major factors which we discussed was around how flights can reach in 30 minutes. They roam around a lot in the air. What do you think is the reason behind it? The reason was that we only have 2 runways to land in Mumbai compared to 4 in Delhi. And still it was facing issue because they are not the high sensitive runways. There are 2 of them which are capable of handling fog and all. So there was a complete discussion around it, and then it came to a guesstimate about what do you think is the number of flights landing in Delhi. Then it was a complete analysis about number of gates in Delhi, how many flights, international, national, runways, like landing timings around 2.5 minutes, something like that. So it was a complete discussion around.
So they discussed a lot with you.
Yeah,
and probably they made you analyze few things.
They made me analyze, and they were judging my behavior a lot.
Okay.
They wanted to understand my opinion, me as a person, rather than like one of the things different which I found between Mumbai, Lucknow, and Kozhikode were that Mumbai was trying to know my analytical skills, but Lucknow was trying to know me as a person.
Okay.
They wanted to know what kind of person I was. They were not focused on the analytical part of it. They wanted to know what kind of opinion I held about it. Like one of the simplest example is that during the Indore discussion, we had a point about how NGOs are handling a large part of this change. Why do you think NGOs are important?
Okay.
So they wanted my opinions rather than my analysis on it. Their cross questions were not about explain further. It was about explain why it was. Why do you think it was in this way?
Great.
So it was fairly analytical.
So you had a long discussion on flights and delays and all.
Yeah.
And then after that?
Things went a little towards my personal life.
Okay.
They wanted to understand about how as a person I'm coping up with work from home.
Okay.
Since one of my major factors around my work revolves traveling a lot, since I'm functioning cross teams, and you travel a lot to have meetings, but at the same time this gives me a leisure of working from home, since I'm also from the development team. So since work from home is a major factor, they wanted to analyze how I'm coping up with work from home. Firstly, what I think about work from home in general, and how I think work from home is good or bad for the industry. So one of the factors was since we had a discussion about planes, I read about somewhere that how work from home has been affecting the airline industry and all, and that is where our discussion went into how economies are being hurt from work from home, how certain industries are completely catered around the business travel, the people coming up to the offices and making the economy grow further, and how this was an analytical discussion, but at the end the major question was, Arpit, what do you think? Are you an introvert or extrovert? And why do you think that? And how, as an extrovert, you think work from home is affecting you?
Then they went into your psychology. They wanted to know about you.
Yeah, they wanted to know about me, my opinions on work from home, how I'm handling stuff and everything. And it's not just that. They wanted to I thought it was an analytical part where I was discussing about economy and all, but they wanted to know my idea about work from home, how I think work from home has affected me in general.
So probably there are three major sides that I have till now understood. After that, what were the questions that they asked?
This was almost the end of it.
Almost the end.
Yeah, one faculty was completely done with it. The other faculty, he had a last question. He saw a ring in my finger, and his question was how I'm going to manage my marriage. If I'm married, firstly, marriage and IIM. I am currently.
So did you say that you are married?
No, they saw the ring and I said I was engaged.
Okay.
So they actually gave me an option that how would you choose between IIM and marriage in next 2 years? How I as a person I'm going to handle my long distance relationship. Do you think long distance will affect me, affect her family and everything? They wanted to know my way of coping up with the general life in person. So if they wanted to people want to see my other colleges might want to see your technical skills. They specifically wanted to understand my opinion, me as a person, how I in future I'm going to be as a manager or anyone.
So probably you must have loved the discussion.
Yeah, it made me aware about a lot of things which even I once wasn't aware about. So it was a discussion which gave me a lot of respect about people who try to understand you, and I think that is the biggest factor you can ever have, having sympathy for a person firstly, and secondly understanding them is the major part of being a good human.
True. So it ended with this last question.
Yeah, it ended with
Did they ask, do you have any question or something?
No, they did not ask that, but they said me that it was a lovely discussion to have.
And you must have felt the same.
Yeah, I can say it from the marks because I scored a 42.5 from 41.83 from 50 marks, including the VAT and GDP. So my major reason to get selected was my GDP and VAT, because 50% weightage in Lucknow is of these two. Though I have a very bad score in my 12th and my graduation, I was able to cope up on it through the GD.
Great. And were you confident after this interview that you would?
I was pretty confident, but I always had a doubt that there are 10 marks of the something which I can't control. 30% was CAT. That was fairly confident from my side, but the 10th, 12th and the graduation marks, since they take a percentile and all, I was fairly scared of it, but I think I was able to cope up with it through the GD.
Great. Charlie, it was really nice meeting you and discussing with you. Congratulations and best of luck for your future.
Thank you.
I think we had a wonderful discussion with Arpit, and I know you must have learned something out of it. We'll certainly bring more such videos, more such interactions. Till then, thank you so much.